guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing my February TBR. I debated on not doing this video since Randomathon is taking up the majority of February, and I've already got a TBR up for that I will link down below in case you missed it. But I will be reading other things outside of the readathon, so I decided to go for it. So this is going to be everything that I plan on reading before Randomathon, which is just a few days away, and then after Randomathon, which I think will be about 10 days left in the month. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get in, but these are kind of my TBR aspirations. First up, I have 2 buddy reads. I mentioned this in my January wrap-up, which I don't think is out yet. If it is out, I will link it down below in the description. But I am going to be buddy reading the Fallen Kingdoms series and Throne of Glass throughout the entire year of 2024 with a couple of my friends, and we're doing 1 or 2 books a month. These books are a little shorter, so they're easier to get through. So we're going to see how it goes. These are 2 huge series that I've had on my shelves for literally years, like 6 years. So I'm excited to finally get to them. Fallen Kingdoms is kind of like a YA Game of Thrones. It's very brutal and intense. I really enjoyed the first book, but there were some things I didn't love, so we're going to see how this whole reading thing goes. But I plan on getting to Rebel Spring sometime in February, which is the 2nd book in the series, and this will kind of determine whether I want to continue on or whether we're going to unhaul. Basically following 3 kingdoms, and you're following like 4 main characters that kind of get caught up in the battle for power and the throne, and there's elemental magic, and I'm enjoying it so far. Then we're gonna read Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas if I can get it in time. So I read Throne of Glass a couple years ago, and I just never continued on with the series, even though I really enjoyed it, and I feel like this is gonna be my favorite out of all of her series. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about Crescent City so far, and I really enjoyed A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I'm not always big on like super spicy fantasy books, so I feel like this one, being more YA for the most part, I'm probably going to enjoy a little bit more. So we're actually starting with Assassin's Blade. I know there's like whole debates on what you should start with, but I've already read Throne of Glass, so I'm okay starting with Assassin's Blade, which is technically the prequel. Once I read them all, I'll put out a reading order if you guys are interested in that, and let you know what I think would be the best, like spoiler wise and all of that stuff. This series is a very, very popular young adult fantasy series, and we follow our main character. I believe her name's Selena, and she's basically an assassin. I don't want to go too much into the description because I don't remember too much from Throne of Glass, and I kind of want to go in blind, but just know it's a fantasy world. We've got some magical elements, and I'm really excited to dive in. And then everything else is going to be me continuing to finish up series. I think I only have 6 or 7 series left to finish, and I have very few in most of them, so I'm very excited. I'm doing so good. So I am currently rereading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairies on audio and falling in love all over again. This is an adult cozy fantasy series where we're following Emily as she is studying different types of fae and writing journals and books on different types of fae and trying to kind of get acknowledged in her field. We have a really cute, charming romance in here. We've got lots of different kinds of fae magic, a cozy little sweet town, really lovable characters. I could see some people thinking this book was a little bit on the pretentious side. It has almost like a Jane Austen style writing style about it. I'm absolutely in love. It was my top book of last year, and so I cannot wait to read the 2nd book, which I need to order a copy. This is from Blackwell's, the UK version, because I really liked the mushrooms. I'm going to jump into this one right before Randomathon, so we're going to get this one done. Then I'm going to reread This Vicious Grace, which was in my top 10 of last year. This again is a young adult fantasy series, and it is very, very cool. It has like an Italian style setting about it on an island, and our main character is a Fenestra, and she is bound to kind of protect the island, and her magical gift is supposed to magnify her partner's magic, but every time they give her a new suitor, the suitor dies, and so she is not sure why this is happening. And then there's an assassination attempt on her life, and she winds up hiring this like bodyguard to protect her while she's trying to deal with all like the politics of her island and find a suitor, and it is so good. There's so much magic. There's a snarky clean romance in here that is so fun. I really, really enjoyed this one. The ending is really good. I definitely need to reread before I jump into this Cursed Light, which is the 2nd book in the duology, and figure out where the duology is going. So I'm very pumped for this. And then lastly, I recently started reading the Bane Chronicles from Cassandra Clare because I am on the Cassandra Clare train. I'm on it now. I'm invested. I'm doing my best to keep up. So Cassandra Clare writes the Shadowhunters Chronicles, and it is just this entire world. You do need to read them in a specific order. order to enjoy them. You can't really jump into one series like outside of reading the other ones, or you'll be really confused and I don't think you'll enjoy them. I've had 2 different friends try to read Lady Midnight without reading any of the other books and they hated it, but I'm like, it's because you're confused, because you need to read the rest, starting with City of Bones. Again, if you're interested in a reading order, let me know, because this one I do know the reading order for. Technically I was supposed to read the Bane Chronicles before I read Lady Midnight, but I tried to do it on audio and I don't love Cassandra Clare's audios for some reason. I don't know why. I'm a huge audiobook person. She has a different narrator for every book. They're good narrators, but like halfway through I start to zone out. And I don't know if it's just because it's a large fantasy. I'm wondering if large fantasies are just not good for me on audio, because I kind of felt that way about some other ones as well. But it is a novella collection following a character named Magnus Bane. I'm not sure how well it ties into the other books. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is basically novella collections as well, but they are majorly important to something that happens in Lady Midnight, so I highly recommend reading that one. So I'll let you know how I feel about Bane Chronicles and if it ties in as well. But after I do Bane Chronicles, the next one on my list is Ghost from the Shadowhunter Market. Again, another novella collection that I think will be very crucial before reading Chain of Gold, which is the last trilogy in the series so far, and the Red Scrolls of Magic, which this is an adult series. I think it's going to be a trilogy as well, following Magnus and another character. Again, just all of the worlds kind of tie in together. Some of the characters have longer lives, so they kind of come in and out through the books, so you have to read them in this crazy order. But if you're interested in a video, I will make one. But I'm going to try to read these 2 physically, so we'll see. Cassandra Clare's books are huge, but I'm already like 125 pages into Bane Chronicles and I started 2 days ago, and that's very unusual for me. Hers, like, spacing and stuff is very large, so I can just get through them very quickly. So hopefully I can get through these 2. Those are some big plans to get through in like 2.5 weeks of February, but we're gonna do our best and see what happens. So let me know if you've read any of these down below in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @TheBrightSideGirl if you haven't already. Let me know how your February is gonna go, and if you plan on doing Randomathon, don't forget to check out that TBR video that I put up, because it will all be circus, theme park, and carnival themed books, and I'm so excited for it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Right Side.